There we go. But welcome, RingLogix partners, and maybe some non-RingLogix partners. There's some names I don't recognize on here. So my name is Jamie Norris, and I am the Partner Solutions Manager here at RingLogix. And I have the pleasure of having Team Helios on with me. I called them earlier on the non-recording. I'll say it on the recording so you guys can tell your wives. I have the bad boys of Helios here. And Helios is a product, and I want to really preface this before I let the guys introduce themselves. Helios is a product that we're really, really interested in working with. We haven't sealed the deal completely yet. We want to gauge partner engagement, like what you guys think about this. So, your partner growth manager might reach out to you, or if you want to reach out to us and be proactive, like, yeah, this is cool. This is something I'd love if RingLogix added to their stack. Let us know. But I'm going to talk less and let the Helios team get going. And if you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourselves and, tell us a little bit about yourself before you get into it, that would be awesome. So I will be quiet and let you guys go.
Sure. Thank you for that wonderful intro, and thanks everybody for being part of this. We look forward to talking to you about it. My name's John Wigboldus. My title is nebulous as Head of Strategic Development, which means I'm got my fingers in a lot of things. And I've been working with service providers, and either as a service provider or as a supplier to service providers for more years than I care to admit to. And I'm looking forward to taking you guys through this really cool software product that I think we've got the right spin for a lot of your customers. On the call, we have Nick Adams, who's our head of our product, implementation and deployments and kind of everything. He needs the same sort of big bucket title that I do. We have Ken Adams, who's our president. Who maybe some of you guys have met through various trade shows and different things, and he's part of this. And then I think Nick Benzik's on here too, so he's part of our team as well for setting up and managing our customers and our deployments and so on and so forth. And so what we're going to take, so I know Nick and Ken, I cut into you, but I'm just kind of going for just speed and efficiency here, because we got a lot to cover.
I've been known to talk way too much, especially if there's drinks involved.
Yeah, we're starting to learn this. So you guys have signed up for it. You saw what we're looking to do here. We're going to take you through our spin on omnichannel software. And a lot of you are probably thinking omnichannel in terms of call centers, and that's how we kind of came into the game. But we've really learned and developed what we're doing as a sort of a different spin targeted on SMBs. And so what I'm going to take you through is kind of it's all a big setup, right? So I'm going to take you through the business environment today, the difference between multi-channel and omni-channel, and a lot of small businesses don't understand that. So when you're talking with your customers, this is a pretty good thing to kind of keep in the back of your head. We're going to talk about why call center services don't necessarily fit a small business, and then we're going to take you through what we do. And then to put some context to it, Nick's going to take over, and he's going to give you a demo. He's not going to give you, a super intense, everything demo, but highlights about the ease of use and the capabilities. And then we'll close it off about, what is this, who needs it, and why sell it. And so without further ado, I think that's the word I'm going to use. I'm going to go to the next slide here. So this is us. So this is Helios. It really is an omni-channel, very similar to a call center type product. But the things to think about is those things up at the top, that social media channels, the SMS, chat, video, email, and voice, all into one inbox, into one place, and connecting all that communication stuff, for lack of a better way of describing it, into one easy to use, consumable spot to find it, share it, and work with it. So here's what's going on that we see in the world, and this is not just our perspective. I spend a lot of time, Nick and Ken spent a lot of time, we research this. And there is a lot of traffic that is going away out of the service providers, the MSPs world, from a telecom perspective. We saw this obviously, or maybe not obviously, I've seen a lot of it in my international business stuff, as people move to WhatsApp instead of making a phone call. And this is happening all over the world and growing in North America as well. Messaging and phone calls and communications are going over the top on social media, which means that it is taking away business from service providers. And so as a service provider, yeah, we just talked about revenue eroding, but you also have another problem. UCaaS has kind of peaked. So as people look at UC, they go, oh, UC here, UC there, they're all the same UC. There's not much of a price difference. Who's got the best promo? Who's got the best spiff? It's kind of peaked. Like Teams, whether you like it or not, and everybody has an opinion on it, myself included, it's kind of like peak UC. It's kind of there. And so now the issue is, well, how do I make up that revenue? How do I get new products? I need new products. There's limited resources, so you can't create and build things, so you can't do all these things. So that's kind of like the service provider world. And I have not had pushback on any of these things that I've said to any service provider yet so far. And once again, we also research this, so this is just factual stuff. Then you get to the third problem, small businesses. I don't know how many small businesses that you've been talking to, but they're probably pretty excited about, I got a phone call, I got an SMS, all on my one app. And then they go, yeah, now I've got Facebook going on, I got Instagram messages, and they feel like they're engaging on multiple channels. They're doing it all. I can communicate, I got all. But the problem is that stuff doesn't get into a single inbox. And it's I got to go from one screen to another screen to another screen. That information isn't grouped together and put into a CRM as a record for people to see. You don't know what's going on with the interactions. And the better way of doing it is moving to omnichannel. And omnichannel, I think, is, I'm going to talk about omnichannel in a second, is where the businesses need to get to, because omnichannel means that you're responding to the customers better because you're understanding where they're coming in from. You have the information there. You have a connected experience because all the communications, everything is tied together with that customer. And so if you buy into what I said so far, you're going, well, give me more facts about omnichannel. Well, here's the facts about omnichannel. If you look at the left, those are more facts again. Business gets better. People retain customers, people spend more money, people are happier, and business just gets to be better. And why is that? It's a combination of different things. And like I was talking about, is that communication availability, the channel communication is there. So what I mean by that is somebody like my mother will make a phone call and she needs some support. She wants to buy something. She'll do that. She's kind of old school. She'd rather go to the store. My son's friends will get on Instagram. Myself and my friends, we may do a Facebook message, but we're typically, SMS or an email. So those are three different generations, three different ways of communicating. And so why force people out of their comfort zones, get them to be where they're at? And so now you got these people communicating, they're happier, it's in their world. Now you have to put it all together. And this is where the omnichannel piece kicks in, because you're now getting the data, you're getting the insights, you're plugging stuff into a CRM, storing the records. And oh yeah, things like chatbots and AI are incorporated into the communications flow to help increase efficiencies and gain insights and do a better job working with the customers. And so now that I take you through, there's problems, there's all the stuff, omnichannel, I want it. Well, then we get to the next problem. This. Lots and lots and lots of omnichannel options. All are very expensive, targeted to big businesses. They don't use your call platforms or services. They want you to resell stuff by 8x8 and 5.9s if they're a small business. And what we're saying is, look, HELIOS does a lot of this stuff too, but we'll leverage the existing platform from RingLogix. So this is all in-house. This is all a turnkey package. And to really bring this home, Mike Tesler, whether you know him or know of him, he was the founder of BroadSoft, and he was writing in an article on LinkedIn last summer. And he basically said, customer experience solutions suck for small businesses. And the article is here's why. And the reality is, I just took this quote from it. It's like lots of really great customer experience problems, a lot of great omni-channel solutions, but they're basically for formal contact centers. They're basically for big companies. They are expensive and they don't fit the way small businesses work, which are a little bit smaller, more distributed. And so from our world, this is a little bit cheeky, but we think that those types of software things is kind of the same thing as taking a big mining truck to get groceries. You can do it, you can get the groceries out of the place, but it's probably better to take one of those cars. And so this is what we're looking at, is we're saying, like, we got a better size, better fit solution, and but we got a different spin on it, and so I'll take you through it. We're calling it, instead of call center as a service, it's an engagement as a service. So if you think about call center as a service, all those types of options, it's got the ACD, it's got the call control, it's got the workforce management stuff. SMBs don't need that because they're not necessarily in a call center. So for our spin on it is like, we're very similar to call center as a service type of capabilities, in the sense you got email, SMS, media, live chat, all that stuff, AI tools. But we see this more as something to be tacked on or added to a UC offering. That small business is probably going to be more happy saying, look, I love to have that my Instagram messages and my Facebook messages, all meta type stuff, I guess, in that case, all together in one inbox. And I'd like to have a chatbot and AI helping me with it. That's the type of person we're looking for. They need that simplicity of doing these things. And so for us, we allow these small businesses to engage across multiple channels. And we're looking at basically saying, you know, why would you sell somebody a call center solution if they don't work in a call center? I think another thing to look at is, if you look at this presentation, you can see the pictures. That's how small businesses actually work. They're not in a call center. They're working out of their vehicle. They're working in a store. They're working on the job site. And so when you think about that use case, you go, okay, well, yeah, why would I sell them call center software? And then you go, well, who am I selling it to? Well, now you're looking at SMBs. And so we think SMBs is exactly the spot that needs the help. They make up almost 100% of business opportunities. Average seat size is 13 seats. They're spending money to catch up and do a better job of engagement, but they've been priced out due to cost and complexity. They don't have weeks to layer on a Genesis solution and start spending 150, 200 bucks a seat. They can't do that. It doesn't work for them. So for our view is, why sell somebody call center software when they don't need work in a call center? I think we're on to the demo portion of this here, so I'm going to stop my sharing. And now it's going to be Nick Adams giving some demo. So I'm going to mute myself if I can find the button.
Yeah, thanks, John. Appreciate the lead. And can you see my screen? John, give me a nod.
Yeah, we can. You're good to go, Nick.
Excellent. Perfect, thanks. So yes, everything that John said and more. So I'm going to take you guys through what it's like to use Helios as a platform user a little bit, hit some kind of highlights for that. And then we'll look at some of the really exciting AI features that we have and some other really cool things. So, really key to this platform, obviously, it's fully multi-tenant, so you can have all your customers living in the one platform, right? It is brandable down to your customer. So they can live in their own branding as well. And it is, we do support SSO with both Google and Microsoft. So you have that continuity of what you're probably used to already, right? So this is what we're greeted with when we log in as a platform user. I'm going to immediately sort of see the things that I'm working on, new communications that have come in on various platforms, whether it be SMS or email. If I have call tracking on, that'll end up here, Facebook, Instagram, etc. Right? So we're going to get everything, on this first screen that we see. We get a lot of cool details from here. I'm obviously going to be able to see what's been going on in this specific conversation. I'll be able to see who has been working on it. You know, if it goes back and forth between different users on the platform. One pretty neat thing, we can actually jump between channels here as well. So, you know, if my end user's on the run, on the go, I can say, hey, I'll send you an email with that information later, right? And then I can actually pop them an email in the same thread. We're going to have quick access to see all of like the historical data that this customer has engaged with us. So I'll see previous conversations across channels. So I'll see Facebook, you know, different SMS, email. So all of that in one quick spot here. And inside Helios is essentially a basic ticketing system. So you'll have those things like life cycles of tickets, you'll have priorities, you know, you'll have agents that get assigned, users that get assigned to tickets, and then those same platform users can have skills assigned to them, and you can, you know, route certain tickets based on skill sets. We're going to see in a couple different places where we do support custom fields. So we can do custom fields in tickets, for example, in the contacts module as well. And those custom fields aren't just limited to like a fill in the blank sort of text box, right? There's various types of data that we can put in there, whether it's check boxes or multiple choice or fill in the blank, right? Quite a few different options for that. So you can really drill down, you know, to those specific niches, right? So maybe you have a basic MSP IT shop, and they have a specific set of things that they check every time a support ticket comes in, right? Make sure that their internet's working, have they restarted their computer, right? Just basic things. So you can really, you know, you can customize the interface and that workflow to your specific customers, right? And then, you know, similar on the contact side, we can also customize the contacts and put in custom fields. And then, you know, really neat thing about this, I'm going to pop over here so we can see it in a bigger view. We do have what's essentially a CRM inside the platform, right? So we're going to see the entire history of this contact. So I'll see all the different conversations they've had. I'll see all their various types of data points. I'll be able to see things that have changed inside the platform on my side. So if a deal went from you know, warm to sold, right? We can put in those life cycles for sales tracking, and then we can also have media in here. So I can put in sales agreements, and you know, or maybe we're talking a blue collar sort of shop, and we have pictures from a job site, right? We can track all that inside. And then we are natively integrated with a few CRMs. So out of the box, we are integrated with Salesforce, with Zoho, and with HubSpot. And what that gives us is essentially when a communication comes in from an end user, we will go and dip out to the CRM, and we'll see, hey, does this person exist already? If they don't, we can have the option to automatically create it or manually create it. And then we can also have the option to create a case or a task or a ticket, you know, depending on the verbiage of that specific CRM, right? And then once we go through and we resolve or finish out that request or ticket, right, we're going to package up everything inside this transcript, everything that happened in here, and we're going to push that out to the CRM. So you get that detailed record on both sides of the board. You'll get it here and you'll get it in that CRM. For those of you that would be hooking up your voice platform as well, you know, the customer gets quick access to their dialer, right? So this is hooked into a NetSapiens, and you know, I can make calls from here. This essentially it's a bit of a call control agent for the NetSapiens. So I can even go in and say, hey, okay, I want to make this specific call on my, you know, mobile registered device because I know I'm going to be on the go, or if I'm at a desk, maybe I want to use my web phone. And then once that call is up, you also will get some call control, so you can transfer and hang up the call and a couple other things. You'll also have a quick sort of directory built in, and you can see your team members inside the platform as well. The other sort of part of the platform user experience is that we have, you know, what we'd call our web chat or our web widget. And essentially, out of the box, right, we support multiple different iterations of a website chat widget. So you can build, you know, variations on a widget. You can include sort of different channels. You can do different branding, different colors. You could have different, you know, them go to different queues for those platform users, etc. Right. So when an end user engages, we'll see that this is, again, branded specific. We are multilingual, so you can live in some of those markets. And the cool thing about this is that we generate the code right inside the platform. So it's a really very simple copy and paste for the customer to put it in their website. Now, in this case, I am actually engaging directly with an autonomous AI bot. And we'll talk about how this works on the back end with this AI bot. But for now, I'm just going to ask it a quick question about my products, right? This is sort of a real life e-commerce website. So it'll tell me a little bit about the products that we carry, and I'll tell it to transfer me, right? And so then this AI bot is aware enough to then go and transfer me to one of my platform users that are logged in. And I'll see, hey, okay, I was transferred. It'll even load my profile picture, pop my name up in there. So at that point, then as the platform user, I can come in here and I can have a conversation with that end user. And one of the really powerful features of this widget also is that we support full video audio communications from end to end. So that user and the platform user can engage in a full conversation face to face, right? And we'll get a little bit more information here too. You can see exactly, for example, where a user is coming from. So if you're looking at a specific product page, right, the platform user will be able to see, hey, I see that you're looking at this new phone offering, right? Do you have any specific questions about that? A couple other things.
So one of the things that we were told is that this is a very helpful tool for people with car lots and real estate listings. So as somebody comes in and looks at a car, that person who's sitting at the front desk in the car lot can then interact with that person and maybe get them to come in to look at the product of the car. Similarly, there's an ability for them to go in and connect through this process to schedule a test drive, as an example. So those are, and then for the real estate, it was very simple. I mean, we got property listings that people are looking at. We want to reach out to them. So this could be a useful tool. So this is what we're learning. And so if you have customers like that, this could be a potential use for that type of a thing. So thanks, Nick. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. A few other things. We also have internal chat here, so you can see people that are in your queue and engage with them in group or individually, right? But we'll keep going, take a look at some of the cool features on the back end. Obviously, there's much more to show all over the place, but I'll try and be efficient here and hit the highlights. So since we already talked about the AI, the autonomous AI bot, we'll start there quick, right? So let's see what that looks like. So at the core of all of the AI features inside Helios is a data set, right? The AI needs to know what sort of data it's working with. And we build that on this side, right? You don't have to go out to the AI platform to build a product set or build a custom GPT, right? To make this function. So I'll come in here and I'll add a data set, right? And there's a couple different ways we can feed it data, right? I can feed it data based on my knowledge base inside of the platform. I can actually feed it data based on external content. So I could say, plug my Confluence site in here, right? And it'll train off of the data on that site. We also can just, flat out upload files like text, PDF, docx, right? A kind of use case for that would be if you have maybe your internal sort of support documents that are not public facing, but you want the bot to be able to work some of that, right? That you might want to do it that way. And then it's also self-learning. So we'll take conversations inside the inbox, right? And it'll train on that. And then of course, not every conversation is a useful conversation. So we can go in and manage what it trains off of for that data set specifically. So after we build out that data set, so we have the groundwork for our AI to function now. So there's three things that we do with AI. One we already saw. It's going to be our autonomous AI bot, right? And so when we build one of these out, we can give it a real picture. We can give it a real name. So by all appearances, it could be a legitimate person that they're talking to. We'll give it use this data set that we just made. And then this is the really neat part. we have the ability to completely customize the personality, essentially, of the AI bot. So we can build a prompt however we want. And, you know, in this case, for example, it's aware enough to transfer me to a real life user because I built that into its personality, right? So there's some really neat stuff you can do inside that and really keep them sort of on your branding. If they want to be more professional, you can do that. You know, lots of different things you can do. So we have that autonomous AI bot. We have something that we call AI Copilot. And this is essentially a helper for your platform users. So they have a little drop down inside the chat interface that I can say, I want to expand this text or enhance the tone or even translate, right? And then again, here too, a neat feature, we can build custom prompts for this. So if you have some specific use case in a customer that's like, I want you to stay, you know, on brand for my customer. So yeah, you can customize that a little bit. And then the last thing we do that's kind of, you know, also a pretty powerful feature is what we call AI Assist. This is essentially a one-click, you know, I don't know what to say, please answer for me. And then in the same way that the autonomous bot answered, you know, we can have this generate a response inside of our platform user's interface, and then they can, you know, edit that before they send it out to the end user.
So those are tools we think that a small business, the certain ones, will just love this stuff. And other ones that may be saying, hey, that's just way too complex. I just need a couple channels. And that's the beauty of this thing is we were spinning it and pricing it is it's got that flexibility to be super intelligent and all encompassing, or it can be very simple. So
Yeah, it's really cool.
So that's the sort of the more powerful AI features. Now, the next really cool part of the platform that we can leverage, we call our workflows or our automations. So, you know, essentially what these are, it's a linear sort of, if A happens, do B, very visually driven, very easy to follow. We see an easy starting point, and then I see, okay, I can just follow that line and see where it goes from there, right? So we have a handful of these that are built in. So a lot of things that you can use out of the box. And then also, you know, if you find a sort of flow that works really well for your customer base, you can export, you can import and export these and recycle them, right? So these work across chat, across SMS, and across WhatsApp. And, you know, essentially you could do quite a bit of different things. You can send various sorts of data. You can collect different data. We can do things like, you know, let an AI agent answer, which is what we saw on that website, transfer to real life users. And then really powerful part of this is we have access to external interfaces. So John kind of said this earlier, right, where we could have a use case for a car dealer where, you know, our users engage with this chat interface and we want to automate a car test drive scheduling, right? So we can do that inside of here, and then using this API interface, we can work with any platform and do, you know, an innumerable amount of things. So you can do some very cool use cases inside of these workflows.
So one of the things we think, you know, and I can see in the chat, I guess we're gonna have some questions later, but you know, people who have a practice or a business that's focusing in on car dealerships as an example, or real estate, they could create a flow or a tool that matches their customers and then take it to all other sorts of customers in that similar industry or similar space, because you got the template then for how to handle that stuff.
So we'll talk a little bit more about the customer experience. So, you know, what does it look like for a customer to come in and say, add an email address or add a Facebook page or something like this, right? We built this with the customer in mind, right? We try and make everything easy, so there's no huge onboarding experience. You should be able to get it down in a matter of, you know, hours rather than days. So when a customer comes in and they say want to add a new Facebook integration or a new email address, right? They come in, you know, very similar experience across the board. Hit the little plus button, and in the case of email, right, we have more traditional methods, POP3 and IMAP, but they also have the ability to just log in to their Gmail or their Office account, and we'll essentially take over that inbox. So then those emails will populate into our inbox for the platform user front end that we looked at earlier, right? Same thing with Facebook, right? We'll say add a Facebook page. It'll pop them over their Facebook, have them log in, and hey, are you okay connecting with this application? Yeah. And then after that, their Facebook pages will be in this list, and they can turn them on and off quite easily. And that's it, right? Then it's inside that inbox, we'll see those messages. We kind of talked about the widget a little bit, right? So this is going to be that website sort of chat interface that we engage with, where the code is automatically generated here. Very easy copy paste. The customer has the ability to do a live preview here, so they can see it, as they design it. You can have multiple different iterations of this, so you're not limited to just one. And then you can get very custom with how they look. You can change icons, change colors, all the branding stuff that we've kind of talked about already. Some of the things, say, for example, if you're in a customer service role, maybe you want to make sure that before a customer gets to you, to your user to chat, you want to make sure that they actually have a legitimate account number, right? So we could add in custom fields here to sort of preface some data that we collect before we get through. Before we let the end user through into a queue, right? So a lot of different ways that we can kind of manipulate and take data, and we can save that data and use it in a variety of ways. We can do that sort of thing before the chat, after the chat, and we even have unique routing if there's no users online to chat, right? We can do something different than say, like, during the day we want to go to a real life queue, real life person, but at night, let's go to an AI bot, because we don't have anybody on, right? So you can do those sorts of things. Actually, a really powerful feature on those widgets too is that we do support auto invite, right? So this is essentially a pop-up for a user, and there's quite a few different ways that you can engage these pop-ups, right? We can do things like, hey, have you been on the website X amount of time? Have you been on more than one page? Have you been here more than once? So a lot of different ways you can trigger that sort of pop-up. And, from the data that I read online with the marketing folks, right, this really engages the customer well. So it really can be a conversion factor for your websites, for your customers' websites. Right? And again, right, so how does it look for the user to engage and interact with the platform? Very similar to the experience of how we added a Facebook page or email, right? Let's say a customer wants to add the Zoho integration. Very easy. They come in, they'll log in. I'm already logged in with my Zoho account. Otherwise, it would ask me to log in. But just like the Facebook, hey, are you okay connecting with this app? Yes, all right? And that's it. It'll think for a minute, because Zoho is a lot of thinking to do on the back end. And then once that completes its cycle, we are now hooked up. We're now integrated with that CRM. So now I have the ability to, make changes on how I interact with it. Maybe I want to automatically, every time a communication comes in from an end user, I want to automatically create a contact and attach a case. Or maybe I only want to manually do it so I don't fill a bunch of junk into my CRM. A lot of different ways you can kind of manipulate this, including getting very granular with what fields go where. So the Zoho fields in my account, for example, I can track those specifically to the fields that I keep in the HELIOS side, right? So you can get very granular with how you link these different platforms. And this is a Zoho one, obviously, but it's the same thing, same experience with like Salesforce and HubSpot. We do also have a pretty robust API. I won't spend too much time here, but pretty much everything that you see on the user interface, you can also do inside the API interface. And then one really key thing to note here is that almost everything that we've seen, that we've looked at, you can turn off, right? So you don't have to give all of this to your customer. You don't have to inundate them with all these options. We can limit what they can see. We can limit what they can do. And what that means is that you can limit it and a la carte bill for things. If you want to charge $20 a month for a Zoho connector, you can do that. So a lot of options for how you build permission sets for the customers. And then, sort of last thing I'll touch on real quick is we do have, built-in reports. We kind of saw some of those real-time dashboards on what it looked like in real time. And we can see that here in our reporting module as well. We'll see, how many users are online, how many end users are on my website engaging with any of my chat widgets. Same sort of thing for all the other communications. So your Facebook, your SMS, your email, all that. We'll get a quick recap on how that looks. But then we can also kind of dig into data. So I could say, I want to look at sort of how much volume I'm passing. And maybe I specifically look to see how much volume I'm passing through on, Facebook, or how well my specific SMS number is behaving, right? To see how many end users are engaged with it. And then, one really neat thing here with regards to those automated workflows, how they convert, right? So I can see, hey, this workflow collected X amount of leads on one day versus, X amount of leads on the next day. So if you were very, big into sort of minute marketing A/B tests and split tests and all that, you could really get intricate with how you build your workflows and see for real how they are converting to a sale, right? So you get all that data in there. Well, I think that's all the hot spots. I could talk about this for a whole day. So, John, do you have any?
Yeah, I'll take over again.
Just to give everybody, just to let everybody know, right? So we asked Nick to come in here and do this high level. I already want to see more personally, right? But we only had an hour. And I did invite Nick and John back to be with us on Tech Tuesday. So here in like 12 days, so February 11th, Tech Tuesday. Those of you that are on this call and you're like, this is cool stuff, I want to see more. That's going to be the call. You guys all know I let you talk on it. So but Nick's going to get like down and dirty. So like this is high level. But we're going to have them back very soon to give you guys like in depth into this. So if you think this is cool, which I see in the chat and the questions that a lot of you do, come back in Tech Tuesday because Nick's going to get real dirty with it, right? Right, Nick?
Love it. I'm going to share again. Where the heck is it? Here we go. And I need to go into full screen mode. Sorry. Why is this not going full screen on me?
Slideshow.
Is that working?
There you go. Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to sail it home. I'll take you through just a quick thing on the pricing, who we think this fits in with, and then we think we got a few minutes for some questions.
Yeah, we got some questions on there. I know Ken's been answering them for me. Thank you, Ken, on the back end there. But yeah, there is some that maybe we can go through too.
So just so you guys have an idea of how big the bread box is, so to speak. We're still working out some details on some final costs with RingLogix and you guys, but your buy price is $14.50. And we have a suggested price of $24.99. You don't have to sell at that price. That's for you guys to sort through with everything. But we also see there's revenue opportunities for the integrations. There's revenue opportunities for how you want to package and take this forward with your customers. And it really is, it can be as simple as you want to do it, or you can be a little bit cute and complex with it. It's up to you, but that's the basic price. And for us, in our imaginary world of $24.99, we're imagining you guys adding a seat on top of that, and you're probably at a $40 to $50 endpoint price, which we think is a very competitive price point when you look at some of the other sort of options available that are coming in, maybe at a low end, 60, 70 bucks, 80 bucks. and going up. I mean, there are some other options out there, but I don't think they're as encompassing as what we're doing here. Where the heck am I? We think this is a product that SMBs want because we're being told it. They like the interface, they like the flexibility, the scalability, the sensible pricing. Makes a big difference, and that kind of goes back to that Mike Tesler article that, you know, everything's just too expensive for these guys. The analytics, just the ability to have engagement, incorporate in those channels, and then leverage AI in these workflows. So those are just kind of like, those are the hot buttons that the small businesses we're told are liking. Another thing to consider, I mean, I put this, I may want to get rid of the slide, but I think it's an important slide to think about. This is from the Harvard Business Review. I don't have the reference on here, but literally people bounce between apps 1,200 times a day. That's 3 hours a week toggling between applications. So just think about, you know, even just a partial efficiency of having a single inbox, what that means. And we kind of looked at, you know, just saving 10 minutes per day, somebody making 60 grand a year, that's $1,200 of real savings based upon that, you know, back of the napkin thing. So this is not just, you know, hey, you got better engagement in omnichannel. There's an efficiency aspect to this too. We think we fit well with retailers and e-commerce companies, especially with people doing a lot of online stuff. Healthcare providers, no, we're not HIPAA compliant, but when I say that, I mean, how you want to handle your customers and deal with your HIPAA stuff, you got to figure out how this fits in there. But we see a lot of, you know, physiotherapists and other sorts of medical healthcare related practices is a great fit. Professional services, people that are, you know, tracking calls, tracking information. Hospitality and travel, where they have those omni-channel needs of these things coming into an inbox, and some of them are doing it in very manual ways. We've already talked about real estate. We know community engagement and trades. Trades is like the hidden one. Like, we talked to this one guy, he's a plumber, and he basically said, this can solve me a lot of problems for me because I get to job sites and I need to get a video or a photo of the customer, and it's kind of hard to do it with the tools we have. But if you can all do it through this one web interface, and they can take their camera and show me something, then that helps me. And then I can take the information. And if I got multiple people on the job, I can schedule the people, and we all know what's going on. So we think they're going to buy because there's a better fit than CCaaS. It's customizable, scalable. Same stuff I talked to you before about. So I'm being redundant now. For you guys, I'm still going back to the, you know, the problems on that first couple slides. You know, this helps combat revenue issues, reduces churn, creates some stickiness, get your brand into doing something different beyond just UC. It's a new product that not everybody else has. It stands out, and you're leveraging us to do all the development work because there's a whole bunch of more tools that are coming out of this thing that we don't even want to tell you about it because we think we're going to blow your heads up with too much information. So there you go. That's who you talk to.
Yeah.
That's all I got. I got to stop sharing.
No, we do have some questions. I'll tell you, John, it seems like there are a lot on like other CRMs, like High Level is been pitched out there.
Yeah.
Make.com, N8N, WordPress. So like, what's the deal with, you know, you have your out of box. I know you guys have a huge dev team behind you. Are you guys willing to like
yeah so we have obviously the high flying CRMs, HubSpot, Zoho, and Salesforce. We have that API tool to plug things in, including things like point of sale systems. So sometimes retailers, that's their CRM, and so that's leveraging the APIs. And as we start to build more and more of those, then we'll create the cards for them as needed. But the tool's already there to plumb it in. Now, I just answered that, and I'm fluffing a haircut at best at times. The guy who's gonna either give me crap or validate this would be Nick. So Nick, did I say anything wrong?
Well,
it sounded right, yeah.
I would assume like it's anything, right? If the squeeze is worth the juice, you guys are willing to get involved, I would think, right? Like, you know, if it's 2 users and it's, you know, X amount of work, it might be a no. But if it's 1,000 users, or you have, you know, it's a huge community use case, then the squeeze might be worth the juice. I mean, I would assume that's probably how you guys do that, right?
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
already.
and let me cut in, John, sorry.
Yeah, please.
For those things where it's just that you want to push or pull information to CRMs, we can do that out of the box today with workflows. So you might not always need it fully or deeply integrated like Salesforce, Zoho, and HubSpot, and some of the other ones on the roadmap. So that we can help you with like today.
Yeah, and I think we'll take it case by case, guys. Like that's kind of loaded in a way, but
Mhm.
I think we need to, we would take it case by case. So
I'll just add
Yeah,
on that N8N question too, right? With that API and the webhook capabilities, you could do some pretty powerful stuff with that software like N8, N8N. Let's see. Been using that quite a bit lately myself. So we'll do a lot of powerful things.
and in terms of support, the way it's going to work is RingLogix will be taking the first level of support with you guys, and then when we need to get parachuted in or brought in, we're right behind it, exactly doing it with them. So it's a collaborative, cohesive effort. Is answering that support question.
Oh, you were answering, do you handle support? Is that
Yeah,
what you were
yeah.
getting? Yeah, cool. Thanks, John. Ken, you got that? That's from Mr. Ken Stauffer. And guys, I know that we didn't talk a lot, but like about like where Helios, the product, and P2P, the company, came from. Just so you guys know, and I don't know if it makes you feel better, but like Ken, Nick, Dave, John, like they, especially like Ken and Dave, Dave George, they came from NetSapiens, right? At the end of the day, or had, integral. So they're really dialed into this integration, especially like into NetSapiens, So trust that they know your space that you're working in. They know NetSapiens, and this integrates, fully into that. Like they know it. They know it better than I do, for sure. Probably better than most of us. So, this gang is dialed into that, but
Thank
just to
you for
give you
saying that.
background on the company, you know what I mean?
Well, we've all lived the space of working in a similar environment that you guys are in, and we understand the customers. And I think that's the part that kind of floored me. I came out of Counterpath a long time ago, and I helped grow that business till we sold it to Alianza. And so when Dave told me about this software, I went, "Oh wow, there's a lot of parallels to that." But and I really know that this is call centers are important. So don't take me wrong. And I think if somebody wants really detailed call center stuff, they can buy it. They can pay the price for it. But the people being left behind is the small business, and to have a product that you guys can take, you people, guys, gals, whatever, you guys can take to your customers in an appropriate manner. I'm kind of proud to be behind that with you guys, because I think we really kind of get where the problem is right now, and how we can help it. So
Well, yeah, and I think all of you on this call, or some of you, have heard me use this analogy. You guys already, you're not Sapiens like call center. I'll air quote it. I've always told you guys that's kind of like vanilla ice cream, right? It's good for some inbound reporting, but not like great. Then we brought on Zima. Zima's the full-blown banana split sundae, right? Like it's, the crazy contact center that you can compete with Genesis and Five9s, Nice and Contact, things like that. Where we were missing a component was this space, which is probably a lot of your guys' your ideal customer. Your ICP is small business. So we were missing Helios. So to me, Helios is that like awesome chocolate ice cream with the sprinkles on it. You know what I mean? And it's fitting in that middle space. It's not, but it all goes with customer experience. And I even love that they called it like EaaS. Like that's an awesome name, right? But it fits in with the customer experience. But I think it's that place that was missing, like especially for our partners.
thank you for saying that, because we're really proud of where we're going with this, and the fact that we've got so many customers already coming on board with us is kind of mind blowing. But so I know we're in the right space, and I would love to be working with you guys, because I think we can do a lot of damage as a group. So that's just my greedy side.
Yeah.
So
I think we got all of our questions here. like I said, don't forget, this is recorded. Miss Gabriella always hooks us up and makes sure everyone who joined or signed up gets a copy of the recording and the presentation. So that'll go out to you. Please don't forget, I'm sure Gabriella can let us know when the invites are going to go out. But I am going to have the gang back on Tech Tuesday. You guys know I let you talk on it, so you're going to get to talk directly to John, Nick, Ken, whoever joins. But I know John and Nick will be on for sure. So Nick's going to get down and dirty with getting more into the interface. That was meant to be like the interactive tech session. Kind of gave you a little teaser today on what you get to see. So, you know, please join us on February 11th and we'll get more into detail. But thank you guys for joining. That was awesome. I really appreciate it. If you were too shy to ask questions today, get your question over to myself or your partner growth manager. I'll tap in John, Nick, Ken, whoever needs to answer it for me, and we'll do that. Oh, let's see. Do we get some more messages? Oh yeah, just some thank yous. Good. Thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I love not talking on webinars and letting somebody else do it. So I appreciate you.
Thanks, everybody.
All right,
you
cool.
Very much.